Hello, folks. Welcome back to Horror Town. And today I've decided that I'll be doing another horror movie review for the winter time. And this time I will be doing it on the movie called Misery. Now, Misery is a 1990 American horror film. It was directed by Rob Reiner and written by William Goldman. And this movie is actually an adaptation of a Stephen King novel from 1987 named exactly the same way, Misery. Now, the the movie features those two actors, James Caan, who plays Paul I forgot Paul Sheldon, right? It's right there on the poster. And we also have Kathy Bates, who plays the character named as Annie Wilkes or Annie Wilkes. Anyhow, so this is the movie that is, like I said, it is based off that Stephen King novel, which I haven't read yet, but after having seen this movie, I have to say I really would like to, God willing. But this is basically a movie about a writer, a novelist who's pretty famous named Paul Sheldon, as I said. And basically, he's the writer of that series. And it is here, it says Victorian romance novels on Wikipedia. And the character that is featured there, that is in the story, is called Misery Chastain, right? So she's basically the hero of the books, the series, or about her character. So this is basically how he's able to become a very famous novelist, a very famous writer. And, he goes, to a lot of different, I believe, conventions and stuff like this where, bookshops where they usually give, interviews and those kinds of things. And, they get to read the books. So I believe this is pretty much what he does. This is his line of work. Now, the thing about this movie and what makes it so, memorable is the fact that he's going to be traveling to Silver Creek, Colorado. From Silver Creek, Colorado to back to New York City, his hometown. But there's that big blizzard that is going to occur. And basically, to cut a long story short, he's going to have a car crash. And what happens is that he's going to be pretty much, stuck in a way with the snowstorm and all that. And Annie Wilkes, who is the other character I was telling you about, is going to be rescuing him and taking him to her house, right? Where she's going to nurse him back to health because she happens to be a nurse. So when he's there, Paul is going to basically come back to, he's going to feel better. And it turns out that Annie is a huge fan. Actually, she's borderline creepy, like a fanatic, even a crazy fan, right? She's like a groupie, right? She loves his books so much, and she loves the stories and the books and everything. But basically, what's gonna end up happening is that since Paul Sheldon wrote something about the character of Misery, I'm not gonna tell you what it is. I don't want to spoil it. But basically, she's gonna be pretty unhappy with that, with the writing that he's, the way what he did with the character. She doesn't like this, Annie, that is. So she's gonna tell him basically to stay, and she won't let him go until he rewrite the story, and basically, rewrite another novel, right? He has to rewrite another novel where he basically, change things again, right? So basically, he's stuck there, and he's gonna find out that it turns out that Annie is of the loony variety. She's really crazy, right? She won't let him leave. She has him, she gets him this typewriter where he has to type in the story. And basically, yeah, he's pretty much, stuck there at her house that is very remote, and there's nothing, around. It's just the woods and with the snow, and Paul can't move easily now. He's on a wheelchair because of his legs having undergone a tremendous shock. So basically, he's just stuck there, right? And he can't really call the police. There's the sheriff that is, there, but it's a small town and he's pretty much stuck, right? And he's going to have to devise a plan to escape from this loony house, you might say. So, Misery is a pretty great horror film, especially for the winter time with the snow and everything. And I believe that this is the best time of the year, as good as any, to be watching it if you haven't already. But I really recommend it. It has a really great, a great set of actors and actresses. James Caan, who plays Paul Sheldon, who recently passed away, was awesome in this film. Then we have Kathy Bates, who plays Annie Wilkes. She's also really creepy and terrifying. She did an awesome job. There's Richard Farnsworth, who plays Sheriff Buster, who I was telling you about the sheriff. I thought he was pretty great. Frances Sternhagen plays Deputy Virginia. Lauren Bacall as Marcy as Sandel. Graham Jarvis as Libby. And Jerry Potter as Pete. So I thought all these actors were really great, but especially James Caan, Kathy Bates, and Richard Farnsworth were the best in my opinion, right? And yeah, Richard Farnsworth also as the sheriff was really great. But I would really like to emphasize, the acting given by James Caan as Paul Sheldon and Kathy Bates, some of the, most talented actors, right, in the world, right? They were so good. So yeah, I thought this movie was pretty awesome. Had a lot of awesome moments, a lot of scary scenes and everything. And I haven't read the book, but yeah, I believe for those who have read the book, you probably think differently, about the whole thing. But I would really like to get to read the book as well, God willing, one day, because this movie is pretty awesome and it has a lot of scary elements in it. And I really enjoyed the beginning, and as the story progresses, it's really great. Now, the thing about Annie is that she has a big pet that is pretty gross, in my opinion, and she just, at some point you can see it there, and, it's a little creepy. But anyhow, this was a good movie, a good horror film, a good dramatization of the novel. I haven't read it, but I'm pretty sure that it's very close to, it is closely connected, because there's so many elements of the Stephen King book in it. So I would definitely say that it has that Stephen King vibe, right? So I'm pretty sure it can't be that far off. So this is pretty much it for this review. So if I were to rate this movie on a scale from 1 to 10, I'd probably give it 7 out of 10. It was pretty good, in my opinion. It's a good horror film for the winter time. And yeah, I believe 7 out of 10 ought to do it. It has what is known as the infamous hobbling scene too, which is really creepy and terrifying. I haven't mentioned it, but if you're, easily, squeamish, at the sight of, there's a lot of there are a lot of graphic things in there. So if you don't like these kinds of content, don't watch this film, because it has some very violent, very gory kind of scenes in it. So if you're not really feeling up to watching these kinds of things, then perhaps this movie is not for you. But those who have watched a lot of horror films and who like them, I would definitely say that this one would be for your tastes, right? To your tastes. Anyhow, so yeah, this is Misery. I would give it 7 out of 10. It's a pretty great horror film, a really good Stephen King adaptation, and that's a good wintertime story, a wintertime movie as well. So, what do you think about this movie? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Also, have you read the novel? If you did, then what do you prefer, the book or the novel? And in what ways do they differ, right? Without spoiling too much, let me know in the comment section down below about anything you would like to let me know as in regards to this film. And I would also like to, give a shout out to a very great YouTuber who does horror films reviews as well. His name is Johnny Raven, and I would try and link his channel down in the comment section down below. Check out his channel and subscribe. He's doing some very awesome work, right? And yeah, I would really like to hear about everybody's views concerning this movie, including him, as to whether you liked this movie or not, or even if you didn't, let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, folks, and God willing, I will intend on reviewing some other wintertime horror movies, centered around this time of year. Especially The Shining, I think would be a great addition to my winter horror films reviews thing, whatever call it, because since I'm gonna be reviewing some Stephen King adaptations in the future, God willing, because they have some really great horror films. Maybe The Shining would be a good addition. What do you think, folks? Thank you for watching, and let me know in the comment section down below. In the meantime, folks, stay safe, goodbye, and take care. This is Horror Town signing off.